It happens around this time each year. After the turkey is eaten and the Thanksgiving football games are watched, many of us go to the attic to get the Christmas decorations out of storage. Now, most of our decorations were probably purchased at a store, but almost every family has a few handmade treasures, some homemade ornaments that hold special meaning. For instance, when my mother and I started to travel after I was ordained, I got into the habit of purchasing a Christmas ornament on every trip. Now, when I put those ornaments on the tree, I remember what city we were in when I bought it and how much fun we had. Back home, some of our treasured ornaments were handmade by youngsters, carefully stored year by year. When my brother was in 3rd grade, he made a Santa out of red and white felt, and a cotton ball served as Santa's beard. We put that Santa ornament on the tree every year, and each year that cotton ball beard would hang more and more by a thread until it finally fell off. We took a family vote and decided that a new cotton ball beard would be a violation of the artwork's integrity. So now that Santa has no beard at all. When I was in 2nd grade, our teacher gave each of us some clay, and she told us to make anything we wanted. Since this was close to Thanksgiving, everybody else in the class either made a turkey or a Christmas ornament, but not me. I decided to make a pig. I quickly formed my Thanksgiving pig out of clay, painted it pink, and gave it to my teacher so that it could be baked in the kiln. And on the day before Thanksgiving, I proudly took the pig home, and somehow my parents did not break into hysterical laughter when I showed it to them. Rather, they proudly put it on the dining room table for all to see. And every year after that, they put that ugly pottery pig on the dining room table at Thanksgiving. Every year I begged them to remove it, and every year they refused. In fact, they left that pig on the table well into Advent, and just before Christmas, the pig was safely stored so that it could be returned to embarrass me the next year. It returned every year until 5 years ago. It was the first Thanksgiving after my mother's funeral. And as I was home at my dad's place, moving some boxes in the attic, I found the box that the ugly pig was stored in. And I opened the box. And there was the pig that I had made with my own hands 45 years ago. And it was broken. And I sat down in that attic and cried a good long time. I wasn't crying because it was broken. I was crying because my heart was broken. Broken over the fact that Mom was gone. Something in me was broken, and it wasn't made of clay. As we begin this holy season of Advent, the prophet Isaiah gives us a beautiful image of who God is and who we are. Isaiah speaks directly to God and says, "O Lord, you are our Father. We are the clay and you the potter. We are all the work of your hand." We begin the season of Advent being reminded by Isaiah that we are created by God. Every person on this earth, including the ones we don't like or don't trust. We are all lovingly created by God. God is the potter. We are the clay, shaped by God's loving design and put on earth for God's loving purpose. We are precious in God's sight. But pottery gets broken. And Isaiah says that we get broken too. Isaiah vividly describes some of the ways that we get broken. Listen, Isaiah says, "Our hearts grow hard, and we wander from God." Isaiah says, we are sinful. Isaiah says we have guilt because of our behavior. We have become unclean people. Isaiah says that we are unclean like a filthy cloth. We are God's pottery, but we get broken. And because of our brokenness, Isaiah prays that God will come to us and heal us. From his inmost depths, Isaiah prays to God, "Oh, that you would tear open the heavens and come down. Oh, that you would meet those who gladly do what's right." We need Advent because we are broken. And despite our best efforts, there are some things in life that we just can't fix on our own. Only the one who makes us can remake us and make us whole. St. Paul says that God makes us whole by sending Jesus Christ to dwell among us. God healed the human family by taking flesh in the womb of Mary and being born in Bethlehem. The healing began long ago in a little town near Jerusalem. But the healing still is not complete, and it needs to happen here in the little towns near you and me. The gift of Advent healing can only begin if you and I are courageous enough to name what's broken. As we begin to pray in Advent, maybe we can ask ourselves, what in my life, in my relationships, in my heart is broken? What in my daily actions, my moral choices, is clearly broken? What is it in my spiritual life or my emotional life that feels broken? And do I dare look in my neighborhood, nation, or world to name what's broken? Families torn by anger and fear, children living in poverty, broken political and economic structures, a culture that glorifies death and demeans the value of life, environmental worries and terrorism, environment and violence. There's so much that's broken. But that is precisely why we have Advent and Christmas and Lent and Easter. We Christians know that our personal and communal healing happens through the life and gospel of one person, Jesus Christ. So if we know that we need Him, then we understand what Advent is all about. Watching for Christ's presence here and now, watching for the signs of His action, watching for the results of His love. Jesus Himself says in Mark's Gospel, "Keep awake, watch, pay attention." Yes, there's much to do between now and Christmas. There's the shopping and the cooking and the decorating and the wrapping and the paying of the credit card bills. But don't let all of that busyness become an excuse to avoid the Advent truth. Something important in us and in our world is broken. And healing will only occur when we experience more deeply the passionate love of Jesus and help others to do the same. Jesus said, "Watch, keep awake." In these Advent days, make sure to spend time every day in prayer. Gather to worship with your community. Read the Scriptures or something spiritual every day. Take time to talk with God and say thank you in your prayer. Pray in Advent. You can watch for Christ by looking for Him. Look for Christ in the people that you meet. Look for Christ in the things that you do and in all that you see. Watch for Him and keep awake. He's already there. And recall what Isaiah says. God meets those who gladly do what's right. Doing what's right. That could mean resisting the urge to buy way too much, to eat way too much, or to do way too much, or to whine way too much. Rather, do what's right. Pay attention to those who are most in need. Seek ways to make a difference for those who experience real brokenness. Maybe we just need to turn off our electronics so that we can spend time with and share love with those who need it. On the cross, Christ was broken, but Christ did not stay broken. By the power of the Father's love, Christ's brokenness was made whole. That same divine love wants to make you whole. God is the potter. We are the clay. The God who made you knows the healing that you need this Advent. What a gift! Are you ready to receive it?